Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another Historical Humans Reacts. And on today's episode, we have a Field Museum press release where ancient temple and theater discovered in Peru, and a carving of a mythological bird figure hints at origins of ancient religion. Ooh.
Ooh.
Yes, those ancients from a time before religion was really a thing, back when we understood the world through science and inquisitiveness.
Wait, hold on a second.
Just reversing history for the fun of it. But yeah, no, we've got a lovely new temple coming up. It's about 4,000 years old, and this temple and theater complex. This is in coastal Peru. So this is not the highlands of the Andean Mountains that many people think of when we talk about Peruvian culture and the ancient peoples that lived in Peru. This is not Machu Picchu. This is the opposite end from there, which actually makes it really fun because honestly, the mountains get too much attention, in my opinion.
You got a point. Like, we don't really talk about the rest of
Yeah.
the Andean mountains.
Yeah, and credit to the scientist who was led by Luis Miro Yanoinian. Yo, God, I'm not going to
Oh,
pronounce that well. I
man.
cannot do that.
Yeah, no.
I apologize, Luis. We really respect you, but I'm not going to butcher your last name again. But great
Dude did
work.
some pretty great work here.
Yeah, like, a massive respect. I'm sorry I can't give you the full respect you deserve.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
But yeah, it shows some of the earliest origins of religions, which is kind of interesting because one of the big things archaeologists really struggle with is the origins and basis of a lot of religions. They exist in almost every culture across the globe, and they dominate large portions of public and private life. But we really just don't know what causes them. We don't know what they're about. Each place believes in different things, worships different areas. So it's always interesting to discover and see what different cultures' beliefs were.
Now, yeah. Now, to get an assessment of like how early a culture and how early the beliefs are, Machu Picchu is, and the Incan Empire are about 600 years old. This temple and theater in the coastal lowlands predates that by 3,500 years.
That's
4,100 years or so.
so
Yeah,
clearly there's a very
there's
prominent religious
yeah.
It also
complex or
predates the
social
Moche
complex.
and Nazca cultures, which we covered the Nazcas before, and we've referenced the Moche in a few different episodes.
We've talked about the Moche. I think we spoke about their temples in a yeah, we spoke about the Moche.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think we did.
We've covered both of them. We've covered both of them. Like we've covered both those peoples, and they are kind of quintessential as like early Central and South American people. And this predates all of them here in the Peruvian lowlands.
And this is a really cool story because his team was actually alerted because of the original, because of the local government. They notified them of the site La Otra Banda, Cerro Las Animas. And the local government reached out to him and alerted him of looting that was taking place near the traditional town of Zanya and called on them to study the area before it was destroyed, which happens, unfortunately, quite frequently.
Oh, I
And
hate
a
it every
coalition
time.
of groups, including Dunbarton Oaks, Archaeology in Action, and the Pontifical Catholic Church of Peru, raised funds to excavate the sites, and the archaeologists began digging in 2024. Oh, wow. So this is
Yep.
truly fresh off the presses.
No,
Hot off
this
the press,
this
yeah.
came out of this came out of the dirt last month, and we are getting to hear about it now. This is a rapid turnaround. I suspect what the archaeologists are hoping will happen is that publicity will enact protections and help them preserve the site longer to continue excavations, especially given the significance of what they've uncovered.
Talk
Uh,
about extra, extra. Read all about it.
because I think the goal is largely protect from looters.
Yeah.
That's
Right
usually
now,
ideal.
publicity does help with that a lot. That is a very potent weapon, and That's why we're seeing a very high turnaround. Anyone who's frequented our videos here knows that archaeology usually takes several years to get from dirt and trowel to public information.
Yeah. Which
I
helps that this is
mean,
being pushed by an in-house publication, so that eliminates a lot of that lag. But it's very cool because the team just selected a plot 10 by 10 meters, which is a massive excavation site. So they clearly knew something was here and began removing the clay and sediment. And at 6 feet deep, and I love how this article says just 6 feet deep. That's
Just.
a massive, massive excavation. But
that is a massive 6-foot hole.
Just one Undertaker later.
they found signs of an ancient wall made of mud and clay, and they said that they're surprised that it was so close to the surface at just 6 feet deep.
I mean, given like the age range of like religion in the area, yeah, 6 feet.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, to be fair, you get different soil depositions in different areas and different topographies and regions, but 6 feet of depth is still a pretty good amount.
Yeah, no, yeah, I was outside Cahokia, and like they had excavation pits going 18 feet deep for something that is really only 1,000 years old.
I was
Yeah, but that's also in the floodplain. That builds
Yeah,
up a lot of
it's
soil
like- but, like,
deposition.
I'm just
Also get a
speaking,
lot of
like,
clay.
your point that like it is highly variable, but 6 feet is nothing.
yeah, I was about 11 feet deep back in December. That was wild. I just remember, but I was out of the wind.
Yeah.
Well, I'll take what I can get.
But it's
That's when you hear the
interesting
water.
because they found at this excavation they found portions of a small theater with a backstage area and a staircase that led to the platform, and they believe it was used to host ritual performances in front of a selected audience. And they found
So-
mud panels decorated with elaborate carving designs showing a bird-like creature. It's as
Yeah, and-
quoted, it's a very beautiful and at the same time intriguing design of a mythological creature. It's like an anthropomorphic bird, but with some reptilian features.
So I take it they're not performing Shakespeare.
Yeah.
What really makes the Birdman interesting, as the article later notes, is that the figure bears an uncanny resemblance to a well-known figure from the Chavan region that will appear in about 500 years. So about
Ooh.
500 years after this site, that Birdman reappears with the Chavan. It moves and shows up in somebody else's religion.
Yeah, but
I mean, that happens.
this figure is found in what they called the initial period, which is roughly about 4,000 years ago, and it was a pre-ceramic period.
Oh, pre-ceramic. Oh
Yeah.
boy.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
they found several large murals painted on the wall, which is interesting, and they were analyzing pigments in the paint, which is interesting.
Ooh.
I'm curious to
Oh,
see
yeah.
because they're going to do elemental analysis, and I actually have had the chance to go to the Field Museum's elemental analysis lab, and they have a couple of machines there that do some awesome work. And what he's going to do is either laser ablation, which vaporizes the pigments, and he can figure out the chemical composition based on the light waves that are emitted, or portable X-ray fluorescence, which will vibrate at certain mineral compositions, so you can actually see what these pigments were actually composed of.
Yeah, and one of the things that this will most likely do, because we are talking about the Peruvian lowlands here, a lot of this region is very arid, which means that a lot of paints and dyes, especially for some of the more colorful things that we see, have to be imported. Meaning
Oh.
that this will likely show some sort of trade network, or at the very least, an extremely innate knowledge of the land that we do not currently possess as to how to make that locally.
And
That's a good point.
to wrap a beautiful bow tie on this story, the main archaeologist here, Mr. Muro, has personal connections with the area where his parents are actually from. His parents' families are from. So he's got both a personal tie to it, along with finding this incredible site. Like one of
Aw.
weirder, more interesting stories to come out of the archaeology world in the past few months, but definitely a cool one and fresh off the presses. Like, I guarantee he's still in Peru.
Oh, if he's not, he's in the lab.
Yeah, no, I guarantee it's mid-July. I guarantee he's still out there.
Oh yeah, I guess that's true.
All right,
he is fortifying his position now.
we'll end that there. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye.